Hampton Holdings Corp. is a Canadian-based cannabis brand and distribution company serving California's legal recreational and wellness markets. Hampton has established a foothold in the distribution market through the acquisition of 420 Realty, a company developing a vertically integrated model in the outskirts of Los Angeles. The company has also acquired Coachella Grow Corp., a full-service production facility for licensed medicinal cannabis cultivators, and entered the edible space through the acquisition of the Cali Gold brand. Hampton recently completed the acquisition of the licensed cannabis manufacturing company Mojave Jane LLC. Hampton Holdings Corp. is listed on the CSE under the ticker symbol HC.
And now CEO Gary Latham is with us via Skype. Gary, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well as well, thank you. You've been making some moves since we last chatted. You've got your manufacturing distribution center in Cudahy, is it? How do you pronounce that?
Cudahy. It's a city that's in East Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So what's the progress there? What's going to happen there when it's done?
It's good. So Cudahy is a great facility for us. It's about ballpark of 15,000 square feet, and it's a footprint for the business. We have 6 licenses, I believe, there from the state of California. So we're able to, when it's all built out and operational, we will be operating nursery there, distribution, what we call non-storefront retail, which is really delivery, and then manufacturing and a kitchen to produce edibles. So we were very happy to put the small bit of demolition behind us that we had to get done and move on to the actual build out.
Sure. Now, delivery in California is quite a hot business, because when you have a delivery license, you can deliver anywhere in California. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you really nailed that right. So this has been a hot button here in the state for a while. And one of the really cool things about delivery is, as you said, you can deliver anywhere in the state. So even if there's a municipality, as an example, that has decided they don't want to have a retail operation in the city or have cannabis manufacturing or cultivation or anything like that, you're still allowed to deliver into that city, which is great. It allows you to service medical and recreational consumers as well.
Sure. Okay, so, and one of the products that I've actually had the pleasure of making an acquaintance of is your Cali Gold chocolate. And let's just say that it's a good thing I didn't have to fly my private jet that day, because I'd have been doing the loop-de-loops if I had a private jet.
Did it sneak up? Did it sneak up on you? It
sure did. Now I got to think that this is probably one of the more popular items in the candy stores of California these days.
Well, it's cool. You know, Cali Gold is a product that decided to really, the guy who's making that decided to really focus on cannabis and chocolate, not just the chocolate. So he's developed strain-specific chocolate bars and drinkable chocolates and a variety of other products, and we get great response to them. They're a lot of fun, obviously.
Sure. How much does one chocolate bar cost? I can't remember.
I think retail on them is in the $12 or $14 ballpark, as I recall, but I think that's about right.
Sure. And what's the most popular dosage? Like, how much do people eat of these things?
Well, it's, you know, you really got to watch it with edibles, of course, as you just described. You have to be very aware of how much of an edible that you consume, because the effect of it can be delayed a little bit. So we tend to encourage people to break off one little square of a piece of chocolate and see how that goes over a couple hours. So yeah,
okay.
it's
great.
It's
great.
Yeah.
So you've got a whole bunch of different things going on there. What is the sort of development initiative that you've got happening in Hampton that excites you the most, that is going to generate the most hoopla in terms of the balance sheet over time?
Yeah, that's a cool question, because we're having a lot of fun kind of reshaping the business a little bit right now. You know, and to put it in context, you guys have seen the the pricing and what have you for flour products sort of continue to slide down the scale a bit. So we really wanted to shift our focus to be all about making products and creating brands to take out to the consumer marketplace. And to do that, the real key for us was to be able to get our eyes on consumers and be able to understand them. And you know, in California right now, if I get the number right, I think there are a total of about 800 dispensaries. So 800 dispensaries touch a small part of the consumer base. Delivery has the opportunity to touch a really large part of that consumer base. So we recently made a strategic investment in a group called 2083. They operate a statewide delivery service called SpeedWeed. And SpeedWeed's a bit of an icon in the business and has a lot of good reputation and goodwill in the business. And they are up to about 250,000 consumers today. They're operating out of about 10 dispensaries and delivering mostly in the Los Angeles area and growing quickly to San Diego and up around the Ventura, Santa Barbara area. So with that investment, what really excites me is that we get to put our eyes on what consumers are really doing, what they're buying, what they're looking at, even what they spend time looking at without buying it on the delivery platform. And the engine that we built at Hampton allows us to go and produce products and brands to go and very precisely match what those consumers are looking for and interested in. So that marrying up of data with the engine we've built, plus the ability to deliver to consumers, I think is a home run for us.
Yeah, you bet. So earlier in the evolution of Hampton, there was a focus on developing growing capacity on a sort of farm-out basis to other brands who wanted to expand their production footprint. And that was mostly happening in Coachella. I haven't heard any mention of that. Is that something that you've sort of moved away from, or is that still in development in the background?
Yeah, so the original plan was we have 11 acres out in Coachella. And the original plan was to develop about 250,000 square feet of cultivation space and production space, and be able to lease out a little bit of that to other companies, licensed companies that were looking to put a stake in the ground. There's a lot of that kind of model being repeated around California, a lot of it around the Coachella Valley and what have you. And as we watch the sort of race the downhill race on the flower production side on pricing, we got it in our heads that maybe the right thing to do was to wait out the evolution of the cultivation business a little bit and contract for the product that we need, as opposed to growing it ourselves and really try not to be in the real estate business. So we have a good asset sitting there. It's fully licensed and ready to go and ready to build out. Should the market change to a place we want to do it, we're ready to go.
Okay, good answer. Awesome. So then what besides the Speedway transaction, what are some other catalysts that we can look for in 2019 that are going to drive the bus forward here?
Yeah, so you know, the right way to think of us is this sort of engine we've assembled. Distribution capacity, the delivery capacity, the kitchen and the manufacturing capacity, all of those parts of the engine are kind of ready to go. So what you ought to see now is that engine starting to run. So we have begun to ship products from Cali Gold and also from Mojave Jane, and what you will see next is additional brands coming out of both Mojave Jane and the Cali Gold side, and some very specific products that will hit the market through both through our distribution channel and through our delivery partner.
All right, Gary, that's an awesome update. Sounds like things are really progressing well for you. Thanks very much for the update. We'll come back to you soon.
Good, thanks a lot. I appreciate being on.